Look, you're gonna love this so much. This is the fattest tonkatsu you'll ever eat. Fattest pork cutlet. It's 2 inches fat. It's gonna come with some cabbage and rice and some other things. I'm gonna show you how to make it. Look at that. What I'm gonna do is, wrap this up, bake it low temperatures and fry it. It's gonna taste pretty good, but it's gonna take forever. So start this in the morning so you can eat it at night. We're gonna probably end up eating this pretty late, but anyway. Okay, so preheat your oven to 70 degrees. Put it on fan force, that sort of thing. Some katsuobushi or bonito flakes. I got the idea to make it kind of taste better. You know how the Japanese use bonito is a huge proportion of flavoring in their cooking infused with the pork. Surely the pork will taste a little bit interesting. If you're gonna make a pork this size, you wanna make sure it's juicy. So the thought process was if I wrap it up, it will contain the juices, especially if I, bake it in an oven on a low temperature for a very long time. It did stay juicy in the end, which means it was a good success. Put a water bath inside as well. I cooked it for 7 hours. Honestly, probably should have went with more. Upwards of maybe 10. Make your rice, wash it, put it in the rice cooker. Just start cutting your cabbage. Really thin, thinner the better. If you have a food processor, please use it. Oh yeah, so I put this in for about 7 hours. It reached 65 Celsius internal. I hope it's actually nice and pink all inside. So before I fry it, I'm just gonna let it cool off in room temp. The reason we're cooling it, not using it straight away, if it's cool, it'll be a buffer. So when you fry it, you don't have to worry too much about temperatures and times. Bruh, what is this? It looks I'm gonna try and take the fish layer off. Pork is okay to eat if it's above 63 Celsius. Again, I cooked it for about 66 Celsius. Once it reached that temperature, I even cooked it for a further 30 minutes. What was the movie called where the kid time travels? He's like an orphan and he lives with this like really droopy kid that puts this piece of meat on his face like this.
Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah, oh, is that it? I thought, all right. Yeah, looks like that.
You put it on your face.
It didn't fall on the floor. Right, that's actually f***ing good. Now slice your pork up. I went with extra thick cuts, as you know, obviously for the sake of video, but you could probably just go with like half the width if you want it on the thinner side. That looks good. Interesting enough, when I wet beat the eggs, I put oil in it, but I think you're supposed to. Breading stuff in like a breadcrumb is often flour, then egg, then the breadcrumb. Now you want to pat your piece of meat dry so the least amount of flour sticks to it. And the goal is you want the crumb to stick when it's frying, and when you cut into it, there's no gaps in between it. That's the ideal situation. Some white pepper, and then next salt. Whatever you see, just use 3 times the amount of salt and pepper when you actually do something this thick. Just make sure you get all the flour off it. Egg. It just doesn't stop. I'm just gonna coat this a second time. If you can get your hands on fresh, raw breadcrumbs, please use it. You won't have to double dip. It needs to be quite deep. There we go, but not all the way to the top, like no more than 2/3. So you want a neutral oil, chopsticks, and then you see how the rapid bubbles are forming? That means it should be hot enough. So we're gonna stick this in for about 6 or so minutes.
That's really high.
I overfilled it. Don't do that, even though I said no more than 2/3. I forgot to account for the volumetric increase when oil heats up. For the first few minutes, don't do anything to it. To counteract this, just ladle some oil into a bowl. Browning a little bit quicker than I thought. Don't let it touch the bottom. Get yourself a huge portion of cabbage. Get yourself some Japanese pickles. This is called shibazuke. Oh man, this brand sucks. It's sweet, not tangy. Okay, moment of truth. Let's hope it's good. Oh. I think it might have done it. Oh, yeah. It's nice and hot in the middle and nice and still pink. Let's serve it. 2 inches of fat meat tastes pretty good. Nothing sus about it at all. It's like crispy, right? Because it's fatty. You have the cabbage, cuts right through, so does the lemon. And it just goes so well with some rice. And cut through that saltiness. I reckon it totally is worth the 8 hours it takes to make this.